Welcome to the Smart Sales System Sales Training Program. If you've arrived here, you may have watched some of our other videos and found some of the tips interesting and helpful. In this playlist of videos, not only will we go through all of those tips and tactics in a lot more detail, but we also go through them in a very logical order, helping them to make much more sense to you and make it easier for you to implement all of the different concepts that we talk about. Here is a list of the main modules that make up the Smart Sales System Training Program. And you can certainly bounce around this list to the topics that you're most interested in or need the most help with. But it is important to know that these modules build on top of one another and are put together on purpose in a certain order. With that being the case, if you really want to do this right, we recommend you start at the top and work your way down to the bottom. And all of these modules and videos actually align with a book that I wrote called The Smart Sales System, Sell Smarter, Not Harder. And you can probably get the gist of the concepts by just watching the videos, but the book is a little different and allows us to go into some of the topics and concepts in more detail. So I'll include a link in the description if you're interested in checking out the book. And a good place to start in our effort to introduce this sales training program to you is to discuss what SMART stands for. If you are a salesperson, there are many different sales tools you can use to help you to sell more. Your computer, your phone, internet access, email automation, social media, CRM, all of those individual tools will increase the amount that you're able to sell. But at SalesScripter, we believe the most important and powerful sales tool you have is the words that you choose to use when communicating with prospects, whether that's in written communication such as emails or verbal communications when talking to prospects over the phone or in meetings. For example, if you have the best email automation and email marketing software that has the most sophisticated features, but if you don't write good email messages, that sophisticated and fancy software will not do you much good. That is why it is our mission to help you communicate in the clearest and most optimum way when prospecting, and that is exactly what the Smart Sales System is designed to do. And you might be able to see that a little more clearly when you understand what SMART stands for. SMART stands for Sales Messaging and Response Tactics. The Smart Sales System will take you through a process to create your sales message, which is an outline of the key talking points and questions you should use when trying to sell a product or service to a particular audience. This sales message is not your sales script. Think of this more as the raw materials that can then be used to create your sales scripts and email messages, objection responses, and more. We see your sales message as being the foundation that everything is built on. If we do a good job of organizing the optimum things to say and ask, it will be much easier for you to figure out what to do and say in all of the different situations you find yourself in. The process that we take you through in this sales training program to create your sales message will not only make it crystal clear what you should say when talking with prospects, but it will also help you to communicate in the most optimum and attention-grabbing way. The R in SMART stands for response, and this refers to how you respond to what the prospect is saying. There are two main things that you will consistently have to be prepared to respond to when talking with prospects: objections and questions. And a central piece of the Smart Sales System training program will help you to be prepared and have clarity for how to respond in the most optimum way in all of those situations. And the T in SMART is tactics. The Smart Sales System will not just tell you what to do, it will tell you how to do it. And we do this by providing very simple to implement tactics that will make it crystal clear what best to do and not do in most of the situations you find yourself in. And you may notice that we refer to this as a system. And we do that very purposefully. because this is not just a sales training program that will provide you with a bunch of tips. It is actually a system filled with processes and steps that you can follow, making it something that you can easily implement and adopt for yourself or for your sales organization. This is in contrast to many of the other sales training programs that I've personally been through and many of the other sales training books that I've read. And while just about every book that I've read and training program I've attended, I have found interesting and I've been able to extract helpful tips, I can say that most of them were not very easy to implement and adopt. And this is because either the tips and information presented was very fluffy and high level, not really tangible changes to make to improve, or the suggestions were on the other end of the spectrum and too complex and difficult to get your hands around to either fully understand or to implement in your daily life. The Smart Sales System is completely different in that all of the tips and suggestions that we provide you with are very small changes that are easy to understand and easy to implement. And we will make it crystal clear what you should and should not do in all of the situations you find yourself in. We also refer to this as a system because this sales training program aligns with a software application. One of the keys to successfully implementing all of the information you learn through a sales training program is to continually reinforce the concepts that you've been exposed to and that you've learned. If you do not continue to think about and try to use what you've learned, there's a good chance you will forget the new information you've been exposed to and just go back to what you were doing before you went through the training program. What is good about the Smart Sales System is that it aligns with our software application that we sell called Sales Scripter. You can actually use the Sales Scripter software application to implement these changes into your daily routine. And not only makes it easy for you to implement the underlying sales methodology, but by using the Sales Scripter software application daily and in an ongoing basis, it will help to reinforce all of the new concepts that you've learned, and that will improve your retention and adoption of the changes that you're trying to incorporate into your sales efforts. And the next module is an introduction and explanation of consultative selling. And that is pretty much it. If you have any questions or want more information, the best place to go is salesscripter.com. Thanks for being here. Hope this was helpful, and we look forward to seeing you on the next video. Have a great day. Take care. Bye.